Good evening and good afternoon. Welcome to what is your final CTV show of just the day. Don't worry, we're going to be back tomorrow. We will do it all over again, but that's tomorrow. This is all about beautiful beginnings. We have had such a busy but lovely day. Now, you know by now when this lady is in the building, the comments go crazy, the ideas just flow like anything that you've never seen before. Everyone loves when she's here, and she's here again for the final show of the day. And this trip, till you're back again soon, it is, of course, it's Jan. How you doing, Jan?
I'm good, thank you very much. Yes, I'll say I'm all fed up again, but fed up in that, you know, we've had some tea.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not fed up of being here. That's never the case. But yes, I'm all good to go again. I'm looking for. I like this particular show.
It's nice,
I like
isn't it?
the beautiful beginnings for people that are at the beginning of their journey. It's a nice show to do. So sort of stripping everything back and looking at how those concepts work and how particular dyes work. It's a nice little show, this one, and I like the new name for it. I think it's much more descriptive,
name.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it says exactly as it says on the, well, the title really. It is a beautiful beginnings and your beginning of your journey in crafting. It's lovely for us as well because sometimes it just makes us rein it in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And think, right, how simply can we make some cards and projects? So it is a lovely, lovely show. So we are going to be here for the next couple of hours. We've got Grace on the social this evening, so any questions, anything you want to ask, anything you want to check when Jan is here, just fire them across whether it is Facebook or YouTube, then send them your way, our way. Grace will send them through and we'll fire them across to Jan. Now, because we are in December, we are currently in the midst of our 12 days of Craftmas event. So that means that today, right up till midnight your time, wherever you are across the globe, you are going to get triple points on your order. So when you go to checkout, and you will usually find you'll get your points, today you're going to get your triple points. Now we'll go over it just shortly, but of course many of you will know that for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, you get a point. Well, not today, you'll get 3. So you think of that in £10 or £100 if you go that far, really going to start to add up. Maybe that will really catapult you into the next level, or maybe it's just going to help you go over into the next level when it comes to Club Inspire. Now we do our videos, and we will be showing you our Club Inspire video with Sarah very, very shortly. However, what we thought we would do is right at the start of the show, we'll give you a little bit of a reminder, because it is all across on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au, and if you go across there, you're going to find your Club Inspire. You'll find it at the top, give it a click, and then you're going to find this page. Now, Club Inspire, when you reach 250 points, you're going to get 5% off all of your orders. And when you reach 500 points, that means you're going to be silver member, and you're going to receive 10% off your order. Then when you reach 750 points, you're going to become a gold member, and that means you're going to get 15% off your order. And then when you reach 1,500 points, it means you're going to be platinum, and you're going to get 20% off your order. So what myself and Jan have been saying today, maybe you've got everything that we've been showing you. Take advantage of your triple points. Go in with your cardstock, your Nina cardstock, watercolour card, multi-purpose cardstock, maybe your Centura Pearl, glue gel, foam pads, all the essentials, maybe some tools. We do have our new Crafter's Companion heat gun. We've got the foam, we've got them separately, but build up your order so that you're getting a really good build of stash, but then it means you're going to get your triple points at the end of it as well. It is, once again, it does end midnight your time, wherever you are across the globe, because it is our 12 days of Craftmas. It is day 7, and tomorrow is day 8, which means it's going to be something brand new. So we'll find out tomorrow what that one is going to be. But as Jan says, this is beautiful beginnings. It's all about taking it all the way back, having a look, aiming it to a lot of crafters that are beginning off in their journey. But then what we find, like myself, it's lovely just to think back, rein ourselves in some time and think, keeping it really simple, but boy, it can look really quite elegant and sophisticated by keeping it very, very simple. So the first one we are going to be looking at is our Ellipse dies. Now these, we did have a look at them earlier on today, and these are a really, really fab concept. Jan will go over them again just in a moment or two, but these are our Ellipse Edgeable die collection with your 4 dies. £25.55 or $31.80. You are going to get a saving of 20%. But if you are platinum, that's going to come down to £20.44 or $25.44. What I would say as well, if you are watching as a new crafter, Beautiful Beginnings, we will show you a video with Sarah in Club Inspire, but if you join Club Inspire, completely free to join on our website, your very first order, you will get 20% off. So if this is going to be your very first purchase on Crafters TV, it means you would also get it at that £20.44 or $25.44. Once again, Sarah will go over all the details later on in the show when we show the video that we've got. I'd just like to point that out as well. As I say, we do have Grace on the comments. Comments are already coming in thick and fast. However, I think it's very, very worthwhile going straight across to Jan, see what we're going to be doing, and then once Jan's finished, we'll have a look at the comments. Jan.
Okie doke, so I've just got a few samples to show you first to go through this concept. And the idea of these, the ellipse sort of theory, obviously we've got that lovely curve on them, but the dies have been made in such a manner that they're just a fraction thicker than a normal thin metal die, and that allows us to cut through 2 layers of cardstock at the same time. So that was the theory behind it. This is the one that we made this morning, and we literally put this as multi-purpose card on the base, so you're looking at 300 GSM, and we actually put it through and it's cut the back half of the card exactly as exquisitely as the front there. So yeah, that's the theory behind them. And the idea is that, you know, they fit on an edge, but it's not sort of determined which edge. So, you know, for obvious ones, you can have it on that upright vertical edge, and you can see we've got the same design inside there. Why not double them up? You know, it doesn't have to be,
of course,
you know, you don't have to cut through both layers. You could actually have one and then take it to that next level just by layering them on different coloured cardstocks. You can see that card just through the back of this one, just echoing that colour. So that's another way to use them. Look at this, just layering them up. I think this is gorgeous.
Isn't it fab?
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, it was our Julia. We should have known, shouldn't we? I was just going to give a name check, and it was no other than our Julia. And if we put it the right way up, it looks even better.
It does, doesn't it?
So yeah, just repeating that in different colours there. You've got that sort of cascade of colours, and I think that's a really, really sort of interesting way of using them. Again, that last one's been cut through twice, which adds that little bit of detail to the back of your card where you're going to pop your message. Or again, splitting it. I like this one as well. This is by our Jackie on the design team. So she's actually split what would have been, you know, your square card, and literally pop that lovely ellipse again on both layers. Look, we've got it at the back as well. But she's just split it and actually popped a little bit of acetate in between. So again, lots of different ways to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in a bit more detail how they work. And I've chosen this time the traditional swirls. Just for you, Craig.
Just for me.
They're swirls, just for you. I don't say it anywhere near as well as what you do. Now then, I've just noticed that some pesky little person looks been having a play and they've not cleaned the die. So top tip number 1, okay, is always make sure that your die is clear of any little pieces that may be stuck in it. We normally blame Craig, don't we? And he's here, so
that's the thing, I know.
We can't blame you today.
Can't blame me, not this time.
Craig.
Sarah's the worst.
But you can see there, yeah, that's first top tip. It's like if you've used your die, make sure it's clean, because anything that's left embedded in the die is going to affect how it cuts in the following time. So it needs to be clear. And you can, if you're used to sort of thin metal dies, I can actually feel the difference in this. It's not substantial, but it does feel heavier than a normal thin metal die. So it's just a fraction deeper, so that if you've got those 2 layers of card together, you can cut through both layers. Now I'm actually going to do it slightly differently tonight. As I say, we did that on the show this morning. So if you didn't catch Wake Up Call, if you have a look at that one, we literally put the die on the edge. This was the butterfly one. And we cut through both layers of cardstock at the same time.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to make an easel card with it. And I actually want to put my die across. I want to make the bottom of the easel card have that decorative edge on here. So in this instance, I am just going to cut through the one piece.
Okay.
So what I want to do is take a bit of tape. I'd always recommend taping your dies down, no matter what you're doing. It sort of becomes second nature after a while. I'm going to use the grid on my mat there just to make sure that everything's straight. And I want to try and get the curve as close to the edge as possible, but just using that line here to make sure that it's as straight as it can be. All right, so I'm just making sure that everything's lined up with that line on the mat, and then tape it. If you tape it on the corners, we know that that piece is going to cut away. So if there is any snagging of the cardstock, it's going to be on the waste piece there. Okay. So because we're only doing that small space, I'm just going to pop mine on that smaller cutting plate with the shims. And we should be able to pass this one through the large Gemini like so. I'm just wondering, we'll see if that, I'm going to pop the metal one under as well, just because it's horizontal. Yeah. And the reason I'm going to do that is, if we were putting this through the large plates, if I cut this vertically, I'll get a much crisper cut than if I cut it horizontally. Purely because there are less cutting points on the die this way. You're looking at about sort of just over an inch. Whereas here, we've got cutting points all the way across. Yeah. So even though the pressure's even, it will affect it differently. So I'm going to pop that metal shim in as well, just so that it's got that little bit of extra bite. Even though I'm only working on one piece of card, because I'm asking it to do it horizontally, we're just going to pop it in like so. Always leave that piece of card out of the back. Never offer the card into the machine first. It always wants to come and follow those plates through. I would never offer this piece into the mouth of the machine. It will confuse it. It won't register on the sensors. No. You'll end up with all sorts of problems. So let's have a little look. Has it done the trick? Yes, it has. Of course it has. So then when we take this away, we can take away the edge here. We don't need that piece.
Perfect.
And then either your die brush or your pokey tool. And I prefer to turn it over and lift the card away from the die. Don't know, you just have a little bit more control than if you're lifting the metalwork away. It can sometimes snag the design, especially if you've got lots of those little curls and swirls in there. And then again, just take all those pieces out, as I say, either with your pokey tool, with your die brush, however you prefer to work. But look how nicely that's cut there.
It does, isn't it?
Beautiful. And you've got such a pretty design. I don't know how they keep coming up with all the different designs, honestly.
I don't know, I know.
They are so delicate. You've got the tiniest little hearts in here as well that are actually waste. They are, look at that. It's the tiniest little speck. And yet, you know, you could use those as embellishments. You could keep them as shaker pieces, things like that. But yeah, that's just part of the design that's actually, it's technically the waste. So pop that off to one side. So this is going to be the front of my card with that piece, that curve at the front. And then what I just need to do is score down that middle of here just to make my easel card. So that piece measures 5.5. So half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. So just down that middle there. And then I'm going to fold that one down, and that's going to become the beginning. Right. You can see that shape there of my easel. So the card itself measured 5.5 inches square to start with. We've done the ellipse die across the front, and then I've scored this piece in half, and you've got that return. And then we're going to create a piece that goes on the front. So what I've done is I've cut another piece, and I've used that same die, but this time I've done it on both sides. So when you have a look now, rather than just doing it on the front section here, wow, I've spun it round and I've done the same on the other side. And that's going to be our piece that goes on the front here. So you can just see how we've got that lovely return. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a little look then. We need some mats and layers. I'm actually going to back it on some pink card, and this is just our Centura pearl. So this is the fuchsia Centura pearl, and you can just see how that design then sort of pops out.
Isn't that incredible?
That lovely sort of pattern. So let's get that one stuck down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring both of my tape pens. They've both got a job here. So on the back of the patterned area, I'm going to use my dotty tape pen just over the back of that die cut detail on both sides, and that just miraculously just sticks to the card and not what's underneath.
No.
Yep. And then I'm going to use the double-sided one down the middle there, because that one's going to give me that lovely straight sort of design. And then these can go together. I've got to get them lined up now without them sticking too quickly. You've got a little bit of little bit of leeway with it, with that. Until you actually press it down and secure it, you can usually lift it up and down. There we go, that's better. So then turn it over, give it a press from the back, and we've got that piece good to go.
Looks fab.
All right, and then I've got a couple of mats and layers. So we're going to put one of them now. Then I can just see a little piece there sticking out. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just trim that off. So I don't want the pink at the sides. And then I've got a piece for there and a piece for the bottom. So we're going to pop those in.
Okay.
And again, I'm just going to use my double-sided tape for that one. And line that one up in the centre there. So it's not covering up our detail. It's just going to go edge to edge on there like so. And then this one's going to go, I have to write myself notes on everything.
Oh, I do
So I've
that,
got
yeah.
top piece and bottom piece so that I knew where they went. And then this one's just going to go across the centre here at the bottom, like that. And then what I want to do is actually pop this one on here, and then I'm going to trim that curve so that it matches the front piece. So again, I just want glue on sort of the bottom half of it. So I'm just going to run my tape pen across that bottom section and then line that up. I'm going to line up each side and that bottom curve so that we've actually got them against that top card, like so.
I love the fuchsia against the white.
It's really sort of striking, isn't it? But I mean, any of the Centura pearl. And then all I'm going to do is just follow that curve and trim off so I can feel the edge of the top piece of card and use that as a guide to just trim, because I want that bottom edge to be curved. You could leave it straight if you wish. It's not going to do any harm, but I just want it to follow that shape. You can see now we've got the beginnings of that easel card. So every easel card needs a stopper to stop it literally sort of sliding. So I've just cut a little heart with some foam pads on the back. So we'll just I'll try and get them off. Don't misbehave. There we go. And then pop that to stop it sliding. So wherever you want it to work to, you can literally then pop. I'm just going to sort of go for around about the centre of the pattern and pop, and now it stops it sliding away. So let's pop it this way so that you can see there. Yep. And then I've got a little bit of decoration for the front here. I've just got some little pieces that I've die cut and a little paper flower. So again, because these are embellishments, I'm going back to my tacky glue, and I'm just going to pop a little bit on the back of here. Do you know, I think something's actually stopping.
You've had trouble today with
yeah,
your
I thought
tacky glue,
I'd
haven't
freed
you?
it, but something in there's not playing. So on the front here, I just want to add a little bit of detail. Just hold that for a second for that glue to grab. And then I don't need to put glue on all of this. I'm just going to pop a couple of little dabs. Ooh, now it decides to come out in full flow, you know. Behave yourself.
Not
And then
playing
we've
ball
got
today.
one under there. And then a little bit again. And these are just any foliage dies that you've got lying around. I keep mine, as I say, I've got a set of foliage ones that I keep next to my desk for this. And then last of all, our sentiments. So I've just taken one of our Hello sentiments that's got a mat behind it, and I'm just going to pop that one. We'll keep it straight on that one. So you can see there when we turn it round, just really showcasing, You know, you could put another piece of pink if you wanted to. I've got some spare here, so you could actually pop a piece under here and again just trim it so that that had the pink under it as well. Entirely up to you how you want to do it. You can see the one that I did at home, actually, I've actually put the pink underneath the bottom piece as well. You can just see how it shows through the bottom as well.
Oh yeah, it does.
So yeah, pretty much the same thing. All I've done is just mounted it on some more of the pink Centura. And I just think it, you know, the dye does all the work. All you need to do is just add those little bits of embellishment. So literally, that dye's cut into here. We've done it again on the bottom of the front piece, and then I've just rotated it and cut it again on the top there. So as many times as you wish. So yeah, that's our Ellipse dies.
Absolutely stunning. It really, really is. The one that Jan was using, that's one of 4. You are going to get all 4 of them within the set. So we have got delicate lace. Now you can use them all in the exact same way as Jan explained, as well as many, many other ways. We've got dainty daisies. We've got ditzy butterflies. And we have also got traditional swirls. All 4 of these you have got $25.55 or $31.80. You have got 20% saving on that one there. If it is or you are platinum, that comes down to £20.44 or $25.44 for you guys stateside. All of these are also available for you guys across Central Europe. You just need to go to .eu. That's where you're going to find all of your goodies across there. And your triple points, that is for UK, US and Central Europe as well. So all of you will get them, which is great. What we are now going to have a look at is we're following on from the Edgeables. Now this is an Edgeable starter kit. And I say Edgeable starter kit loosely because, yes, it's going to work great for your Edgeable dies. However, you're going to be able to use these for all throughout your crafting. Now what we've got here is we have got A4 pearlescent card from Knitwit. So we've got Knitwit colours and it has been brought to life in actual crafting physical form by us at Crafters Companion. It was part of the Homebody collection, but it's 24 sheets. Now on today's price you are saving 15%, over 15%, but that alone, your cardstock alone, is just $14.99 actually for all of that one there that we can see. So you've got your card, but what you've then got is your die release tool. So where you've seen Jan popping out the little die cut pieces with a pokey tool, you can go over it with your brush and just lay it onto the mat, and then all the little bits are going to come out. Any little nuisance of annoying little bits that are going to stay in place, or you might just like to sit and poke all the bits out. You've got your 2-pack of your pokey tools as well. Uber sharp, you want them to be, but they do have their protective caps on each of these ones. So you've got both of them. You have got a full roll of our strong 22-metre double-sided tape. Now, as Leanne would say, this is the properties of a wet glue, but in a dry form. So you've got that included as well. And then when Jan was talking about low-tack tape, you've got 3 full reels when it comes to your low-tack tape. Each of these ones as well, they are all on their own little reel that we can see here. So that's included. All of that, everything that I've showed you there, £25 or $35. You are going to be saving over 15%. If you are platinum, it's going to come down to £20 or $28. So really nice set, either for yourself as a little stash builder or little gifts. So I believe we have got loads and loads and loads of you that have got many items within your basket. So what we're going to do is we will have a look at this VT, then we'll come back. I promise we'll dive straight into the comments because lots and lots of you are joining us this evening, afternoon for some of you stateside. So where, as I said earlier on, about Club Inspire, and we'll delve more into everything that you need to know. Here's Sarah with our Club Inspire video to tell you everything that you need to know.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. So, join our family of craft experts with live tutorials and demonstrations every day. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products here on Crafters TV. Get creative and craft along with our amazing deals. Your next craft project is only a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week or watch on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook or our YouTube channel. You can chat to us, craft along and meet new friends in our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
You all had time with each other! You're not through to boot camp, get off!
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. So, stop what you're doing and enjoy the fun here on Crafters TV.
Everyone backstage is amazing. You probably know this because we talk about them all the time, but I have to give a big shout out to Jake. From the minute he walks in the door, he has got the hugest smile, but he's just brilliant. He's always there, he's always on the ball, asking what, and they all are, but Jake is just, he's a cheeky little chappy, I think is why I like him.
Constantly asking if we've got everything we need, fetching it for us if we need them. Everyone laughs at me because my main thing when Jake's in is, Jake!
He gets me whatever I want, so if I need anything from the library, he goes, gets me it, we rummage through the boxes together, we make sure that I've got everything I need. And he always does it with a smile.
Jake is in the weekend, this coming weekend with myself and Debbie, so there will be a lot of Jakes, Jake, we need this, and we need the next thing. So yeah, it'll be good to see. He was just in yesterday, but he's on the weekend with us, so it'll be lovely. Rightio, lots of you joining us from all over the globe, which is always lovely to see. Carletta's saying hello everyone. Kimberly saying greetings from a wet and cold North Carolina, kind of the same here, minus the wet. Just very cold. Deborah's saying hello. Zoe's saying hello. We've got Pamela. Tim C is saying hi all. Hope everyone is well. Sending hugs to all. Hi Jan. Hi Craig. And whoever is on socials. It is Grace this evening that's on socials. We had Rachel for the first 2 shows today, and then Grace is on just now. We've got Christina saying good morning Jan, Craig and team. So happy to be here on this cold morning, working along while watching you craft. That's lovely.
It's good to have you here.
It's always nice. It really is. We had someone earlier on who was shopping in Tesco's and they were watching us. I know. Mind boggles. It's cool. It's quite fun to know that. Laura is saying hello from Seattle. We've got Silva saying hi everyone. Barbara's saying hello everyone from Indiana. Dana Hill is saying hi Grace, Craig, Jan and crafty friends. As I say, today we've got Tracy, we've got Julia, and then in the gallery we have got George and we've got Jamie for the next couple of days. We've got Rhonda saying I really should be getting my stuff together for a 3-day weekend crop, but I'm still here.
Oh, sounds fun.
Sounds really fun.
It does.
Stories you'll be able to tell after those 3 days. I know what you crafters get up to when you've been away crafting for a few days. We know.
The
We've been
3-day
there.
weekend got me first, and then when she said crop as well, I was like, well,
That's it.
What better way to spend your weekend?
There's going to be empty tacky glue bottles all over the floor. There'll be streamers on the roof. There'll be everything. Wait, you see. Dana's saying, I'm home with the flu, but happy to join my crafty friends learning some new things.
Oh, feel better soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear you're under the weather. If there's, I don't want to say, well, I'm going to say it anyway, and it sounds wrong, but if there was any day to be under the weather, today's probably a good day because you're going to learn lots from Jan, as you'll have seen from earlier on. So, yeah, really good day. We've got Mary saying beautiful card samples that Jan was showing. Colleen is saying, oh, here's now another one. In the school car line, waiting to pick up my grandkids, and I'm watching you.
There you go.
There you go.
Do you know how many different places
Exactly,
that
I
people
know.
watch us? Honestly, yeah.
Interesting.
What's the strangest place that you've watched Crafters TV from?
There's a good one, Jan. There is a good one.
What's the strangest place, yeah?
One of the strangest and strange places. Let Grace know and we'll read them out. A lot of love for my jumper. Thank you very much, Barbara, as well as many others. Colleen is saying, great idea, shaker pieces for what came out of the Ellipse dies. So yeah, really good. We've then got Kathy, Jean, Pamela, Barbara, Michelle are all saying what you just made there was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
We have got... So, Shaddai is saying, I am here, Craig and Nanjan. Lovely, Grace. I'm a bit tired, just listening. I'm watching in and out, need some Zeds.
Oh.
Well, if you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. Don't worry. You can always catch up with us. And then, right, okay, so we've got a question before we move on to our next item. So, Dana Hill is saying, Craig, could you compare the tapes again? Thinking about the tissue tape, right, on last night's Advent calendar video, and still can't wrap my head around it and the differences. Is there a three-pack? Right, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do with that one, because you're referencing something I was talking about on my live last night about double-sided tape, finger lift tape. What I'll do is I'll be doing my Advent calendar live again tonight, opening door number 7, 9:15 in the UK, 4:15 Eastern Time, 1:15 Pacific Time. So what I'll do is on that live, because I'll be using my double-sided tape, I'll re-go over what I was meaning on that one. So hopefully that will help, but that'll be no problem. I'll absolutely do that. Kathy's saying hello from Missouri, and Silva's saying I was watching in the bath earlier on.
Oh, now there's a good one.
That is a good one. Although I think that's one that many would do. Chilling in the bath, relaxing, and yeah, watching and getting some ideas. Good one. Yeah, do let us know. Where else do you think is the strangest place that you've been watching us? Let us know, as George put up the details a moment ago across on social. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at some Laird Edge die collection. Now what we've got is 30 dies in total, and wait until you see what you can do with these, because these are super cool. Today's price being £51.96 or $59.80. If you are platinum, it's going to come down to £41.57 or $47.84. And what you have got here, at first you may think when you look at the dies, what do they do? But then you'll see here, the initial concept is to create these layers that we've got here. But then you do have your additional matte and layer dies, nesting dies that works to complement this whole set. So I was saying to Jan earlier on, and actually I was saying it to all of you while you were watching, I tend to use these as individuals as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just nice nesting dies.
They're just a nice little set for things like sentiments.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really, really is handy to have these ones. On that today's price, by the way, you have got a 20% saving. But that one was the scallop circle. We've got stylish mosaic. Now, the initial idea are all the same, but you know by now, if you've been watching us for a while and you followed Jan when she's here, you can do so many different things. We have got the ellipse frame, and then we have also got the vintage ticket. So all of these you're going to be getting with that 20% saving, $51.96 or $59.80. But if you're platinum, as I said a moment ago, £41.57 or $47.84. Take advantage of that triple points that end midnight wherever you are across the globe. That will kind of finish off day number 7 before we go into day number 8 tomorrow. And I can honestly tell you, I don't actually know what the 12 days of Craftmas is tomorrow. I'm on this side all again tomorrow, but I don't know what is... do you know something? Yeah, Jamie, tell me, but I better not tell you at home just yet, just in case.
Oh, that was a good one, goodness me.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay, doke.
Just in time for Christmas.
That is. Yeah, leaving you in mystery. Good one. Good one.
It
Thank you for
was.
that one, Jamie. I might tell you I'm alive later on. Maybe.
That's a good one.
Anyway, that's going to be tomorrow. Jan, these are really fun and really different things you can do with them.
They are, yeah. Again, it's sort of that initial concept. And, you know, for those of you that are not familiar with the term, a gatefold card is simply one that's folded differently to a normal traditional style card. So what we do is we have the size of our card in total, and then the front is sort of the division, and it's scored so that you get the two pieces open from the sides, which are technically like the gates opening, which is where it gets its name from. Now, these particular dies, these layered gatefold dies, are intended to cut away. You can see that lovely shape from the inside of that gate part of the fold. So we've got two dies that work here for the concept that are going to create this space and the matte layer that goes with it, so the piece of pattern paper over the top. And then you get the two smaller dies, which you can either pop. This one's had the snowman cut from the paper, which I think is very, very clever, or it can be a sentiment on there. And they're just made the right size to nest inside that original shape. So again, very, very cleverly done. All the measuring side of it, which can often be the trickiest bit, has all been done for you. And I'll show you how to use these in a second. So again, looking at that scalloped circle there, we've actually got what we call a double gatefold this time. So this has actually been an extended piece, often two pieces of card put together. And we've actually cut that scalloped into the gatefold, but it's actually a double, meaning that you've got the whole circle there sort of cut into that fold. And then again, you've got that lovely little nesting die in the back that just nestles nicely with a little border when it's closed. And I just think they're a really, really pretty idea.
They really are.
Again, just taking it a little bit further, you know, if you want to seal that gate element, we've popped some acetate in this one and just made that domed effect, but you've still got that beautiful shaping around the sides here with that lovely element in the centre with your stamped sentiment on there. And then finally, a similar kind of idea, but just stretching it that little bit. Again, popping some acetate in here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and just using these as decorative elements, you know. So we've cut the panels, and instead of them being on that opening aspect, just popped on there. And again, a little bit of acetate in there. So lots and lots. I mean, that's literally just skimming the surface of what we can do with them. So I'm actually going to use the stylish mosaic for this one, which has got a little bit of that Moroccan sort of tile effect to it, hasn't it? It's a nice shape. And like Craig said, you know, the central parts are brilliant for nesting dies. So 6 pieces altogether. How it comes to you then, you've got 2 of the outside layers, like so. So the very largest pieces. Now this is where you just need to be careful to get them in the right order. I'm going to take those 2 out, and I'm also going to bring the next 2. So these pieces look very similar, but they are slightly different sizings. So what you want to think about when you're working with them is the smallest size is going to be the one that cuts the edge of your cardstock. So if I flip these over now, you'll see that those will fit on the front of my card there to create that nice sort of shaping at the front.
Yeah.
So the smaller of the 2 outside layers. The larger one is actually going to cut you your matte layer and leave that slight little gap. You can see how it just echoes the design. It does. But it means that you can cut your matte layer. So what we're going to do to start off with is you would secure these onto your cardstock wherever you decide you're wanting to cut. So I'm going to open mine out because I want to just cut through that one layer from my gatefold. And I'm just going to line these up with the edge of the card and tape it down. And I'm popping my tape again on that inside part because it's going to cut this part away. And then I'm going to take its partner and we're going to flip right to the other end here. And I'm going to pop this one on here. And then I'll show you when we close it up again how that's going to look.
Okay.
So again, just match it up to the edge of your card in the centre there and then stick it in place. Okay. And then when I flip this over and fold it together, you'll see that we're creating that lovely shape in the centre. So we just need to pass this through our Gemini. I'm actually going to bring my larger plates back in for this one, just because I've got a larger piece of card. So although the dies would fit through your Gemini Junior, it depends on what you're doing with the actual pieces of card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this piece out of the back for now, and I'm just going to put that first one in with the sandwich, and we'll pop that through the Gemini. Now, because it's only just at the beginning here, I only need to run my plates part way through, and then I'm going to pause them and use that reverse function because it will have done its job there. So I'm going to just touch that one across. You can hear the difference in the motor. It just slows that fraction. And once it's gone over that die, I can press the pause in the centre, rewind, and it's going to pass me that back out. Okay. And then we'll turn it round and we'll do the same again with the other side. So just to release that one, and then we'll flip this all round. Okay. And I'm just going to remove that element so that it doesn't decide to fall out while we're die cutting. So again, we've got that second one in with our shims, and do the same again. Now, the reason I've paused it and actually brought it back again is because wherever you've got cardstock in between your plates with no die, the pressure from the machine has to go somewhere. So because it's not pressing on a die and cutting anything for you, sometimes it can just warp your card a little bit. So I prefer to actually use that facility where we can just pass the die through, listen to the motor, can hear it working, I hear it come off the die, and then reverse it out, which means you're not putting extra pressure on the rest of your cardstock for the sake of it. So it's just a little top tip if you're using our Geminis there.
Great tip.
It's great to have that function, I think, just to, you know, sort of help it along. So again, once we put that one out, we've got our edge pieces cut out. So again, just take those pieces off.
And when you say, Jan, about it's a really useful feature to have that on our Geminis, if you didn't know, our Gemini die cutting machine, our electric one, was the very first ones to have that pause reverse feature on them.
It certainly was.
And so many more afterwards have come and they've popped that on their machines as well because it is so, so useful.
It is, you're right, Craig. Just another top tip while I'm thinking about it. We do like to sort of pass this on for you. I'm actually working with our Centura pearl here. You can just see that beautiful shimmer on there. Now, I've actually got two brand new cutting plates for my Gemini that I'm using today. But if you've got some that have got a little bit of scarring on them, which is where the die's cut against it, so you get that scarring on the plate. I know I get asked a lot about that scarring transferring to the pearl cardstock. All I would do with that is pop a little bit of photocopier paper over the top and it will protect it. It doesn't make any difference to the sort of, you know, the depth of the cardstock. Just a piece of photocopier paper and it protects that scarring transferring over to that Centura pearl. So we've got our piece at the ready there, and then what I'm going to do is I've just taken some gorgeous paper. Let's just have a look there. I've got all my pieces at the ready, and we're literally going to pop. This is from our Timeless Shades of Winter. Okay. And I just thought, you know, it's got that gorgeous, because we're working with the Centura pearl, this has got that lovely pearlised finish on it as well. So I'm going to put a whole piece in the back. I've just inked round the edge of it with a little bit of our topaz ink, which just coordinated beautifully with that particular paper. And then just the tape pen again is sufficient for popping those pieces together. If you prefer the wet glue, if ever it's paper and cardstock, I would always be reaching for my all-purpose glue. Okay. But I do like, when I'm demoing, I do like the tape pen purely because we're going to get an instant stick and I don't have to wait for it to dry. No. So that one's going in the back. And then what I've done is I've measured my pieces here. And then if you cut a piece of cardstock that would be your matte layer. Now, when we talk about a matte layer, I mean a layer that's slightly less than the outside card. So for example here, let me just measure that one for you. We're looking at 4 inches by 5 3/4. So what I would be doing then is this piece will measure 3 3/4 by 5.5, so 1/4 of an inch less on both dimensions, and you've got that full piece. And if you just hold it in position, you're going to take then the other larger piece. Remember I said this was the very outside of the die, and you can now line this one up with the edge of here and die cut, and it's going to give you that lovely piece that's exactly the right shape to fit around. It's just as if by magic. I love this. I love that it's all been done for you.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll just do that again. We've got that rectangular piece that is 1/4 of an inch less in dimension than the piece that I'm working on in the background card. And then we've taken that extra die, and I can see where that edge needs to be, right on the edge of the card. Pass that through your machine again, and again you're going to get that piece that fits beautifully on here and creates that matte layer. All right, so when we're talking about matting and layering, it purely means that you've got one layer with a second layer on top. Now I know a lot of people leave that 1/4 of an inch border, but there's no hard and fast rule. If you want it to be closer to the edge, you could just have 1/8 of an inch and make this piece slightly bigger. If you wanted a bigger border, you'd just cut this rectangle smaller and then do exactly the same process. So again, there's nothing in there that says it has to be. I think you work in 1/4 of an inch increments, don't you, Craig?
I absolutely do, yeah.
I think it just gives a nice little border around it. But as I say, there are different ways. This is just, you know, we're sort of giving you the benefit of our experience. But I always say to people, you know, if you're new to it, have a play around with some of your cardstock and, you know, see what takes your fancy. You might decide that you like a slightly bigger border, which is absolutely fine. So again, I'm just going to lay that one on top now because it all matches up beautifully. I followed the line from the inside to get it nice and straight, and that's going on this side. And then I'm going to do the same on this one. And all I've done is just added, if anybody that knows me knows that I love my inks, and I very rarely now can I actually make a project that's not been inked around the edges. I just personally, I just think it finishes it off nicely, but again, that's just me. It's not necessary. And again, we've got that second piece that's just going to pop on here and just leave that nice little border all the way around that opening. So this is our gatefold at the ready. You can see we've got those gates that open to show the inside. And then the last two pieces of your die, you've actually got the sufficient pieces there then with the outside one, the largest one, to create your mat, which just nestles beautifully inside there. And then the smallest one creates the layer that's just the right size to fit nicely on top. So again, all that measurement's been done, and I just think it takes away, you know, it is possible to do something like this without a die, but just think about how much measuring you'd have to do, and how many times would you do it before you got it right, how much cardstock would you have wasted in the process. So I'm going to fold that close so that I can see where it is, and then just eyeball that one to get that same distance round the centre. Now you can raise some of this up on foam pads if you wish. I always think that's quite a personal touch. The way I look at it is if I'm hand delivering something, I could go to town with the faux pads or the glue gel. If I'm popping it in the post, I do like to keep it flat these days because the postage obviously has gone up. So keeping it nice and flat, we're still, with all that work, we're still nice and flat on that card so far. Now I'm just going to take it in the other direction now because I've made some embellishments for this. So we're actually going to pop on a nice little bow just to pick out that colour tone, which is going to go up here. I've popped a sentiment, and these are our fancy font sentiments, which you get the larger wording and the smaller wording that actually sort of marry up with each other. So again, I'm just going to pop those on and keep everything flat on this particular one until we get to that embellishment. So we're going to pop Merry, and then I've just matted and layered the little Christmas to go and nestle inside it like so. And then just to finish it off, from our Poinsettia Perfection die, I've just created out of some of the scrap Centura pearl with a little bit of glitter, just created a really nice sort of flower. Because it's going to be a Christmas card, this one, we're going to have that nice little flower on the corner there. So just pop it down, and then just to echo that little bow, I've got a couple of leaves that I've cut in the blue to match, and we're just going to pop those in the top there just to give it a bit of extra detail.
Stunning.
So there we go, look. All right, so when we turn you that one round, we'll stand it up for you. It all stands nicely with those gates open, but you can see when it's closed how that nesting sort of design all fits together.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so really, really pretty. So that's your concept behind them, the layered gatefold edgeable. You have to remember layered gatefold edgeables they are, yep.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely stunning. I love that colour offset with the blue, and that just works an absolute treat. So Jan was using the mosaic. I've actually got it here at the back. I'm going to bring it first. The stylish mosaic that you can see here, but you do get all 4 sets. It's 30 dies in total. You've got the scallop circle, you have got the ellipse frame, and you've also got your vintage ticket. So all of them you're going to get $51.96 or $59.80. But if you are platinum, then it's going to come down to £41.57 or $47.84. And it is there for you guys across Central Europe as well if you want to get your hands on it. Now we've got another starter kit here. So we've been very lucky today having 2 of them. Now what we have got here that goes really, really well with the Laird, and this is our linen cardstock, my favourite cardstock, and this is our 24-piece sheet collection. It is set with flowers, so not that long ago as that launched, but this is in this Crafter's Companion die starter kit. So you've got your cardstock. What you have also got is your score master. Now you've got your score master, you will also get your scoring tool as well. You've seen Jan use it throughout today. What I will say though, yours won't come with a black mark down the centre. It's inches on one side, centimetres on the other. We do that because if you want to score from point to point on a cardstock, or maybe you seen Debbie's craft along yesterday where she was making that little gusset on her bag, then that enables you to get that centre point with absolute ease. Not only has it got all your measurements in 1/8 of an inch and in centimetres, but this is your box maker. So with your box maker, so up to your left-hand side, that is true measurement size. So you've got your inches along the top, and then along the bottom you've got your inches as well. The opposite side is for your box base. Now those measurements aren't quite accurate because that's what takes into account to make the perfect box. But what I will say when it comes to our scoreboards on Sunday, I have got a starter skills show where we're going to be having a look at scoreboards, we're going to be having a look at our embossing boards, and we're also going to be having a look at our envelope maker. So if you want to see a little bit more information about the scoreboards, yes, you can go on our YouTube and watch past shows, but we'll be doing a little bit of a refresh. That's on Sunday. But you have got your score master. You have also got a full reel, 22 metres of our ultra strong tape runner. So this one here, as I say, 22 metres. You'll find other companies own tape runners range between 10 to 12 metres. Ours is 22. And as Leanne says, it is your wet glue properties, but in a dry form. And also you've seen Jan using this throughout today. This is your bone folder set. You've got the 2 of them. Now, whichever one you feel comfortable using, it's nice, it's whole ergonomically, fits perfectly and feels good within your hands. You've got the 2 of them for you to use. Maybe keep one in your craft room, one in your craft bag, or you might just already have a few. Does no harm having extra ones about. That's included as well. So you're going to get all of that for £25 or $35. You are going to save over 25% on that one. So going back to the bone folders for the whole lot, if you were to just have extra sets just dotted about, maybe you are going to gift them, then you'll never ever go wrong with having extra sets. So it's worthwhile checking out. Of course, maybe that is then going to enable you to take advantage of your triple points to go to the next tier. But have a look at that one. The cardstock alone, so around about $40.99, I think it is off the top of my head. So it is a really, really good value starter kit. £20 or $28 for everyone that's platinum. Then what we're going to have a look at now, we're going to have just a quick look with this one here. I'm going to go through our swatch book because we've not looked at that yet. This officially launched last night here in the UK with myself and Debbie Robinson on launch party, and it has gone so crazy. Now you can go into the website and buy them separately if you want to. They are available individually, but you can, as always, get the best deal together. $29.98 or $36.90. If you are platinum, that's going to come down to £23.98 or $29.52. Now it is our Crafter's Companion brand new heat gun with your 2 heat settings here, but what you've got is a 4 block of foam. This is heat and mold foam. So you heat it with your heat tool and then you press it into any surface you so wish. That surface will then leave that indent into the foam. You ink it and it now becomes a stamp. And what is incredibly magic is once you have used it, and maybe you don't like the design, you don't want to use it again, reheat it, and it goes completely flat. Now, let's have a very quick look at our little swash book here. You can go back to last night's show and watch Debbie, where she'd done lots of different things with these ones here. But by heating the foam and then pressing it into Hessian, how real does that look? But it's completely flat. What about metal chains that you might have? Once again, press that heated foam into the metal chains, ink it up, press onto your card. Dried leaves, actual dried leaves you might have out in the garden, as I say, let them dry and then press them ones in. Paper clips, you've then got scrunched up tin foil, you've then got, look at that fine lace. This is all an imprint from the original material. It's completely flat that has been inked. We've got resin flowers. We've then also got screws and nails, so you can do your own stamp background for maybe your men's cards. Wooden embellishments, you can do it through stencils, you can do it through your little wooden pegs. What about a knitted top? Zips, actual physical zips. Becky Swan would absolutely love that one. A whole range of buttons just placed out, pop that heated up foam over your buttons, press it in, and then start inking. This is one of our background dies. Once again, heat the foam, exact same thing every single time. Heat the foam, press it into said surface, then ink it up. Then we've got sequins. You can do it with your background stamps. You can do it with cotton lace. We can then even do it with round-headed pins. You can then start to take an imprint from your embossing folders. What about your coins? You've got keys lying about, use them. Metal embellishments, these ones being butterflies, anyone. Elastic bands. How many of your postman or post ladies leave the elastic bands on the floor? I know not many do it nowadays, but there was a time when they were doing that. Keep them and then just do an imprint with the elastic bands. Then we've also got bubble wrap. We have then got string. You can do that with pasta spirals. Now, dried pasta spirals. It's not going to work with cooked. Don't try it. Twigs, and then you can even do it with shells. And Jan, my absolute favourite, your scoreboard. So press the foam, heated foam, into your scoreboard and then ink it up.
It's amazing, isn't it? So anything that's got any texture.
Anything.
Anything. It could be bubble wrap, something like that, couldn't it? It's so many different ideas. Anything that's got a particular design on it. As I say, denim, where if you've got a, you know, sort of where the pocket is on the denim, you could actually press it over that and get the imprint from that with the little rivets in it and things.
Absolutely.
So many different ideas.
It really, really is. And what's good is, yes, you can stock up on more of these. So maybe you do like an impression that you've done and you want to keep it, which you can do, and it will stay in its dry position for a very, very long time. So you know you can keep it. But if you don't want to, if you want to then just go, nah, I want to change that, reheat it, it goes completely flat, and then you can reuse it again. What I will say, we are going to come back to comments and questions. I do want to pick this one up because it is important. Alison is saying, is the foam too hot to do a baby's hand or footprint into the foam block? Yes, it is. Now, it doesn't get boiling hot. However, you have to do the imprint straight away. Yeah. So it is going to be too warm to do it onto a human hand, certainly a baby's hand or a footprint. Please don't use it for anything like that because it is still at a temperature where it's going to be too lukewarm for a baby. Please make sure that you do it on a hard surface, not on, you know, hands or footprints, anything like that, pets, nothing like that. It's just for a hard physical object. So it's worth asking. You know, you don't know if you don't ask. So please don't do it for anything like that. But you just think of all the things that you can absolutely be doing that with. As I say, after myself and Jan finish tonight, you can always go back and watch Debbie from last night. Do that before I go live, of course, and then you can come and watch me afterwards. But you've got all of that, $23.98 or $29.52 for all of you platinum. If you do want to go for more, then you can do on the website separately, or if you just want the heat tool, it is there on the website as well. We have lots of unsung heroes here at Crafters Companion and Backstage, and we've got many of them that we always reference day in and day out. As Jan was saying earlier on, we could not do what we're doing without these guys. So what we are going to do is we're going to focus on one of them individually, and boy, she does get some stick. But let me tell you, she gives as good as she gets.
Does.
And she makes the best cup of tea. We all absolutely love her to bits. It is, of course, Tracy. So let's have a look at Tracy. This is our Backstage.
My unsung hero has to be Tracy. I'm going to give a little shout out to our Tracy.
I think if I had to nominate somebody, I'd probably go with Tracy.
Because Tracy keeps me fully supplied with cups of tea whenever I'm working here. She always finds me the things that I've lost, and she's always great to be around.
Sort of get involved with our sample library, which is massive. It's where all the samples are kept, all nice and neatly, all labelled up. And part of their job is to get the necessary samples out for the shows that we do every day, get them all ready and prepared, often display them, tidy them away again, pop them back in the sample library, and that takes an inordinate amount of time.
They literally are the cogs that keep us working, and I don't think a lot of people realise just what they do for us in terms of getting everything show ready so that we can come in, get ready and be relaxed to go on air and do those kind of things.
So that is just a small part of what they do, you know, as well as being floor managers during the shows, getting us any products that we need, and most importantly, bringing the coffee.
Everybody on screen knows I make everybody's tea and coffee.
Hello, I'm Corinne Robinson, and I am having an absolutely fantastic time up here working for Crafters Companion. So my crafting journey began back in, I have to get this the right way around, 2001. I went to a craft workshop just at a craft store, and I was absolutely hooked. My mum convinced me to go because she wanted to go, and I've not looked back since 2001, and I'm still going now. My crafty inspirations are, I have to be inspired by my grandmother. She was an amazing sewer, and I just love to take inspiration from her. I can't sew, but I am blown away by what she used to do. But I just am inspired by all my colleagues around me, the other experts. I've just done a show today where we have third parties in, and I just love watching them and take little bits from them and then put my own twist on it. What's it like having crafty colleagues? It's fantastic. We are an amazing team. The support from Crafters Companion is brilliant. I have loved it. As you know, I've not been here overly long, but the team have opened their arms and welcomed me so fantastically. And I love watching the shows because a lot of the tips and techniques that you'll see me do in my shows, I've picked up from my colleagues by watching their shows. What non-craft facts can I share with you? I have my pride and joy at the moment is my gorgeous little Cavapoo dog. I absolutely love her. Miss her like mad when I come up here. Elsie's at home with my husband. What is my biggest crafting success? Oh, I just think it was the day I was able to give up a 9-to-5 job and be able to come and be a craft demonstrator full time. And then the excitement when I came to join this team was amazing. I just think that has to be up there at the top for me.
And guess what? It's going to be Corin that's going to be in tomorrow with me. I'm going to be on this side once again, and Corin's going to be on Jan's side, so it's going to be lovely to see her too. We've got Meryl Lewis saying the strangest place, and I love this, the strangest place I have watched CCTV was at Disneyland, waiting to go on the Star Wars ride. It was an hour and a half wait.
Oh, wow.
So I enjoyed watching Crafters TV, made the time fly by.
That's amazing, isn't
that
it?
good?
Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't think about it,
You
would
wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. And a lot of the theme parks
Fantastic.
as well have Wi-Fi now, so
Yeah,
you'd be
why
fine.
not?
George is very jealous. He's like, what? Yeah, he's just jealous because he wants to go to Starland. What is it, Star Wars? I don't watch it. He wants to go to Starland. Yeah, we'll just call it Starland. It is close enough, isn't it, George? It is. Beth is saying a better question is where I don't watch CCTV. The list would be shorter. Thea is saying, hoi hoi, here again. Well, it's lovely to see you here again, Thea. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us like everyone else. Mary Beth as well, beautiful card, Jan. Thea saying beautiful. Coletta is saying beautiful card, Jan. Meryl is saying awesome card, Jan. We've also got Barbara saying beautiful. Beth is saying stunning. Desert Dweller is saying beautiful card, Jan. And we have also got Coletta saying, oh, cool, Craig, that scoreboard effect with the heat tool. Absolutely. Before we quickly move on, just a couple of questions, Jan, with the last demonstration that you've done there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Linda was asking, what was the size of the card?
The finished card, let me just double check for you, I'm fairly certain, yeah, was 8 inches by 5 3/4. All right, so the depth of it, 5 3/4, to say the height of it that way, and the finished one was 8 inches.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
So it's been cut from a piece of A3, obviously, for that length. You wouldn't get that out of our A4.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great, perfect. And actually that also answers Alison's question, saying just tuning in while getting ready to go out, what size paper card was it that Jan was working on? There we go. And I'll throw this one across only because Jan actually, she talked about it earlier on in Club Inspire, so it's just put V as the header name. It's just put, does anyone know if your points carry over into 2023?
Just to explain that quickly how it works, it's a clever system. So what happens with the points is that they are reset in January. So if you've got however many points, they will reset to 0 in January, okay? And then what happens is, for example, say you're a gold member currently, you will retain your gold membership all the way through next year. So you'll get your 15% discount all the way through next year unless you move up a layer to platinum. And you'll start claiming those points again across the year. So if you get as far as gold again next year, you'll retain that gold by the end of the year, or if you've moved up. If you don't quite get as many points, you will only ever come down 1 tier. So it's not a case of, oh, you've not met it, you're coming all the way back to the beginning. So if you're gold, you'll come back down to silver. If you were at silver, you'll come back down to bronze, etc. So it's almost like it's, as I say, the tiered system works. We used to get asked about this a lot when I worked in the store. So yeah, it's a really good way of doing it, because obviously if you to just keep adding points and points and points and points, you'd get to a point where there was just no purpose to it.
No.
So the idea is that those points start building again, and then, as I say, occasionally, if you've got somebody that's got a massive, massive amount of points, occasionally they will carry some over, but that is at our discretion. It's not a thing that happens as a default thing. Yeah. I know sometimes if there's someone at platinum, I know we had a lady earlier say that she was 17 times platinum, massive amount of points. So she would have enough points to take away next year's platinum and stay at platinum. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so if you've got a massive amount over the top of the platinum level, all they'll do is take your quantity, which is 1,500, for platinum next year, and then you'll keep that for a further year. All right, so I hope that makes sense, but I just like the fact that it's not your level bonus that's going back to 0, so that if you've achieved silver this year, and again, this is what we were talking about with the triple points, if you're near the end of a bracket within, so say for example, you're almost at the end of silver and you're ready for going up to gold, make sure you get that leak before Christmas. By the end of this year, by the 31st of December, get those points. Even if you're buying something, I know it sounds silly, but buying something for the sake of it, buy something like cardstock that you're always going to use, or your adhesives, or your tape pens that you're always going to use. Pop them in the cupboard, but it might just be that you've got those extra, say, 53 points that you needed to take you from gold into platinum. Whatever you finish the year on, you will then enjoy. So if you reach platinum before the end of December, you're going to get that 20% discount all the way through next year, unless you fall back on those points.
Perfect. So this really, really is the way that Jan just explained that absolutely perfectly and brilliantly. This is why today, and that's why I've constantly been saying it throughout each show, is please
really
take advantage.
Offer. Really good.
Please do. You know, another analogy is, Jan, you were saying there, say it was, 53 points that you needed. So instead of, 53 points. Instead of having to spend like £53, because it's 1 point per pound, it means you're going to have to spend a lot less than that.
Absolutely.
Because you're getting triple. So hopefully
the other thing that
helps.
might be worth mentioning there, Craig, is for our new members. So if you're new to Club Inspire and you're signing up, for example, today, I know Craig's mentioned that you will get that 20% discount on your first full order. What we already do with that, as well as part of that membership welcome, is we give you the 250 bonus points, which automatically take you to bronze level. So you've not got to work up to that bronze level. That means that the next time, so if you were to order with us again and put a second order in, you're automatically going to receive that 5% discount. And I think that's amazing. Because we're giving you 250 points to get you started, just as a thank you for joining the club, free of charge, but it means that you will then get discount on your following orders.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for pointing that one out, Jan. Yeah, because absolutely, I missed that off. I know it myself, but I just completely missed it off.
It's just remembering it. There's a lot of facets to it, isn't there? But it's well worth doing. And I know such a lot of our customers are at platinum.
They really, really are brilliant. So I think this has been a really good day where we've gone into a lot of detail explaining Club Inspire. So hopefully I know that's helped a lot of you. So that's exactly what we want. What we are going to do is we're going to have a look at a hero tool, something we use day in, day out, that so many of you yourselves say you cannot live without. You know, when I do my mats and layers, as Jan says, I like to do mine at 1/4 of an inch increments, or then I do 1/2 inch or 3/4, etc., etc. I always use our guillotine. It's the guillotine that I go to all the time. This one is our small guillotine. Now, £20 or $31, you are going to be saving 20%. Platinum comes down to £16 or $24.80. Now, with our small guillotine, what you have then got is you have got the ability to cut up to 8.75, where you've got the length of your guillotine. You've got that nice, easy to grip handle. It's a stainless steel blade, and I say blade loosely because Leanne and the team, they actually went to a sword manufacturer to actually get the blade done perfectly. So you know it's going to be the sharpest of sharpest. And remember, changing subject completely, when I said about that VT, how she makes the most lovely cup of tea. Give me a cuddle. Give me a cuddle. See? Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Thank you so, so much. Love her a bit. See? Didn't she actually came on air? She came on air. It's not often she does that. Not often she does that. So that's your small one, 6 1/4 by 8.75 inches. You've got your embedded score lines in there with your scoring tool as well. It is the finger guard included. It's just an absolute must for so many of you, say it yourself. So that's available to everyone. Now, we do have a large guillotine. Unfortunately, it is only available here in the UK. Now, when it comes to this one, it's got a cutting capacity of 13 inches. Now, everything I just said there about the small guillotine, it goes as standard when it comes to the large one. You do have an extendable measuring arm, so you're just going to pull that one out, you're going to press it down and pull it out. That's going to extend all the way up to 13 inches. Both the large and the small, centimetres and inches, still got that embedded scoring tool with the lines as well, so you've got all of that there held into place, easy to grip. You've got the finger guard. Both of them also have the non-slip rubber feet. All of that is absolutely exceptionally all built into one, still that sword manufacturer. And as Jan was saying earlier on today, which is a really good thing to always point out as well, it's self-sharpening. Long gone are the days with other guillotines or cutting devices where you have to go through tin foil. All of us have done that. We've been there. I know some of you still do that. However, with our guillotine, you don't have to do it. You do not have to do it. You will always get that incredible sound, Jan, when it goes.
Oh, I love it. That noise. Absolutely. I wouldn't be without mine. No. I wouldn't. And I know I've said this before. It's like Leanne was here with me last week when I was in at CTV. And I said, you know, we know, you know, working at Crafters Companion, that Leanne puts so much work into it. And Leanne's a crafter, so she knows what she wants. And I think that's what makes the difference. It's not someone thinking, oh, a crafter might need a guillotine, let's make a guillotine. Leanne actually uses these products, so she knows what she's looking for. And I know how much testing they go through before she will actually release it for production.
Yes.
And say, yes, that ticks the box, that's what I wanted. She goes to the nth degree to make sure that it will do what it says on the tin, basically.
Yeah.
So we've got the confidence then of knowing that it's going to work.
It's going to work.
Don't have to worry about whether it's the right choice or not. It's been endorsed, yeah.
It has been. It really, really has. So as I was saying, here in the UK, only £31 or platinum price, £24.80 for your large guillotine. Just touching upon there what Jan was saying. Now, I know it's not the guillotine, but for instance, our tape runners.
Yep.
Leanne tried and tested and dismissed 24 tape adhesives and tape runners. She wasn't happy with them.
Yep.
Wasn't doing what she wanted for her as a crafter, and because she wants the best of the best for herself, she knows that you want that as well, and you deserve that. So that is how she went. So, and I'm not saying 24 within an hour period, like, okay. This was over months, months and months and months. So just that is how pernickety in a lovely, fab way for you that Leanne is, of course. Grace is saying, oh, on air, meaning Tracy, yeah. Don't often see her on air.
That was a very special glimpse, wasn't it? She's a bit camera shy, our Trace.
Yeah. A lot of people wishing they had Tracy's job. We do love her a bit. We really, really do. Now, something, Jan, that was really, really popular last week.
It was,
and because of demand, you're going to show it again now,
I asked if we could have it back again, yes, because it was received really well last week.
Brilliant. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, this on today's price has got a saving of 20%. So everything I'm away to show you, £41.55 or $47.80. Platinum comes down to $33.24 or $38.24. And you're going to get 4 die sets. These make the most fun cards or project. You've got Once Upon a Time. Now, what little girl wouldn't love this style with a princess, or a little boy with a prince? Or, of course, as we know, you know, the boy might like that princess style and the girl might like the prince style. You can do it whichever way that you want, but you know that you've got that Once Upon a Time, very much like that Disney-esque inspired castle, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got the ability to do the zigzag that we'll see in a moment with Jan, and you've got all of these coordinated sentiments that's going to work with the actual die set. We've got our hometown, so you know that could be the wedding church for a wedding card, it could simply just be an anniversary or just a card, because you've got the gates at the bottom with more coordinated stamps that's going to work hand in hand with your die set. So we can see that one here. It's very, very dimensional, but you can keep it really quite flat that you can see here. But what we've then also got is we've got our garden dreams. So all of these work on the same concept, but you know Crafters TV by now. You know that we can chop and change the ways things can look. But within this one here, you have got your dies that are going to create that effect with your coordinated sentiments. And then last, but by no means least, we've got In the Country. We've got In the Country that's going to create that style that you can see there as if the bike is going up that hill to the house or to the cottage, with the coordinated sentiments as well. Using them in those ways, using them separately, layering up with foam pads, glue gel, you know, do 3 of them, do 5 of them, create extra depth, that's up to you. But these were so popular last week that with Jan's help, I thought, right, they're coming back again tonight. So all of them platinum price, £33.24 or $38.24. A lot of comments coming through, so what we'll do is we'll jump across to Jan, see how these work and what you can do, and then we'll have a little read when we come back.
Okie doke. So what I've done is I've just pulled a few samples out to show you the theory behind these. If you weren't watching last week, again, they're a really nice sort of concept card. And again, you know, what we call those mantelpiece pleasers. It's like people are curious as to how you've made them. So the actual thinking behind the concept is that you've got that sort of trifold card and it opens out in that zigzag shape. If I lift it this way, you can see that zigzag, which is where they get their name, the Zigzag Scene Builder. And each piece, you've got 3 separate dies. Each piece is cut into a different level to create your scene. Now, how you add colour to it is up to you. You know, if you colour in, that's absolutely fine. I did one, if you want to have a flick back to last week, I did one that was just cut in coloured card. So if you're not a colourist, doesn't mean that you can't use them. We cut it in coloured card and layered it up that way. But again, just to show you that gorgeous little castle again, look. And again, same principle with that lovely zigzag. So you've got the carriage at the bottom of the hill, then you've got that beautiful castle, and then that lovely sort of forest backdrop behind it. So lots of these have had some ink on them, or possibly, you know, some of your colouring mediums on them. But again, it doesn't have to be that zigzag. So just layering them inside an ordinary card, but allowing, you know, just that little bit of room so that you've got some sort of dimension to it there. And again, open it up. We've got the gate in the front part, open it up, and you've got the scene there behind it. So lots of different ways to use it.
There really is.
Again, this one's actually that sort of diorama style. So you can just see here, if I just pop those folds back into place, we've got that ability to look through this time. If I lift it, you can see that there's sort of elements inside there where you're looking through into the scene and have it in an ordinary card style. Now, we did some work with this last week as to how to sort of change the styles, but because we're back on that beautiful beginning show, I'm just going to show you that concept behind it again tonight. So I've taken Garden Dreams, which is the one with the little bench, that lovely, what are they called? The archway.
Oh,
Can't think of the name.
Oh,
yeah, I'll come back to that bit.
Tip of my
Somebody tell me, yeah. My mind's going blank now. What's it called?
It's not a trellis, is it?
No.
No, trellis is for the flowers at the back.
Oh, somebody will know in the
they
comments.
will.
And then we've got the trees in the background. So you can see here at the bottom the 3 different stages of that die. So the options is to cut it all on one card, and I did that for you last week. So I was here with Beautiful Beginnings last Wednesday, and I think they were on that Wednesday show, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
And I went through how to do that lovely sort of zigzag style for the concept. We did slightly different tonight. So I'm going to take those 3 elements of my die. They're all separate pieces. I think, what did Jamie just say then? An arbor. I think, is it an arbour it's called, with an A, not an H, not a harbour where you put the boats, an arbour, that arch, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, something along those lines. So I've actually done some of the die cutting already, which is sort of fairly straightforward, but you have actually got that lovely little bench there with some of the shrubbery at the side of it and the grass. So what I've done is I've just taken some of our Nina cardstock and I've popped these on the top. You can see how that just fits into shape, and just die cut those edges. And if it's slightly wider, just take your little snips and snip in from the edge till you get to where the dies actually fit on there. So that was going to be layer number 1. Then we've taken we think it's the arbour. You can see there, you've got that lovely sort of archway with the fence in behind it. So again, I've done that on a slightly larger piece. So what I've done is the bottom is longer, and then again I've popped this on the top and we've cut out that shape from the top edge of it. So if you're actually doing this, rather than worrying about the measurements, I would keep all your lengths of card a decent length. But what you're wanting to do is actually move them up so that there's room to see this one into the next one. Okay. And then I've got the third one, which has got those little trees in the background and the shrubbery line there. And I've left that one longer still so that when this goes behind, you're getting that effect of that zigzag element. And then all I've done with this one is take some of my colouring pens again. So we're back to the tri-blends. It could be your colouring pencils. It could be some of the inks if you like to colour with the inks. You know, there's lots and lots of different ways to do it. And all I've done is literally take the pens. In fact, we'll do the little trees right up at the top and literally add some colour, and that's why I chose the Nina cardstock. Again, it's about it's almost like working backwards. It's a little bit like, right, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to use my alcohol pens, so what's the best cardstock to do that on? And that's the Nina cardstock, rather than thinking, right, I'll cut some all-purpose card, but I'm going to use my tri-blends. That would work, but the all-purpose card is a bit more absorbent. Even though it's a smooth cardstock, it's a little bit more absorbent than the Nina, so you'll find that you're using more ink than you need to with your pens. So again, fit for purpose, find the right thing for the right job, and that does make life slightly easier. And then I'm just going to flick to a slightly different green. So the first one was citrus green, this is alpine green, and I'm going to add. You think, oh, whoa, that's a bit dark, Jan.
Oh, whoa, again, that's a bit dark, Jan.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I want some sort of definition around the edge of there.
Okay.
And you can blend different colour families. We do tend to sort of stick within a family. And by a family, I mean a group of all one shade. But I'm actually going to bring now the citrus one, and I'm going to go to the mid-tone, and I'm actually going to pop that up against here and just start blending. So all I'm doing is nudging the edge of that darker green so that the alcohol almost sort of like bleeds into it, and that's where you're going to get your blend from. Now again, we talked about this earlier, that if you're not at this level in your journey, you could actually be stamping onto some paper. So if you've got some green paper, you could just die cut it onto there. If you're not wanting to do that, if you saw the paper piecing demo that I did earlier with the little penguin, you know, you could start and sort of do that and just paper piece it. So there's lots of way around it.
There is.
But I'm just going to sort of add some little bits of detail in now with those two different colours so that we can have a little element of sort of shaping. And I've got one of these done ready, so I'm just showing you how I've arrived at those pieces. I'm not going to spend an age colouring.
But even just that, Jan, with going around those outlines with that darker green, you see how effective it is.
Yeah.
How it works. Really, really useful doing that.
And then obviously we're going to bring in the brown one and pop the tree in the bottom there. And again, I did the same with the little fence, not the fence, the bench. So again, just to add some colour. So I've done this and I've applied it to all of those areas on the Nina cardstock. Again, if you don't want to use the colour on the bottom sections, if I show you what I've done in a second, you could always use your inks and sort of use an ink applicator to apply colour. Lots and lots, as I say, are different ways of doing this, and everybody tends to find their own sort of happy place as far as colouring's concerned. So, you know, you don't have to be an alcohol colourist, you don't have to be a watercolourist, you go for what suits your sort of level of crafting. So again, just to finish that one off, and you can see how it makes those pieces stand out. I've done this very, very quickly. You'll be able to spend much more time at home with this.
Whenever I see that bench, Jan, within this collection, for some reason, I always think of Notting Hill, the film, you know, when they're sitting. One of my favourite chick flicks. I love it.
Yeah, or the video that Ronan Keating was in. He was sat on the bench, wasn't he? Yeah.
Did you know Andy Love's in that?
Pardon?
Andy Love's in that.
Really?
Quite high up at Hobby Maker. Yeah.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah.
Well,
Andy Love's in that video.
So you can see how those pieces begin to come to life. So if I bring in now the ones that I've done, you can see here, we've started with the little bench there, look, and then I've used my illustrators to use that flicking technique to get the grass at the bottom. So this is going to be layer number 1 here. So we'll swap that one out. And then I've brought in a little bit more of the grass and then just coloured the little arbour with the flowers round it. So that's going to be layer number 2, and then the same again, exactly the same techniques, and we've brought those trees in for layer number 3. So I've got my coloured pieces. And then because the Nina, like we were talking earlier, the Nina's actually a lighter weight cardstock, so it's not quite as robust as the multi-purpose. So I'd actually got my Centura pearl that I was working with, which I've cut the dies into again here. You can see where we've had the little bench on the first one, and then we've had the arbor and then the trees. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick these over the top so that they're actually giving them a little bit more strength. So again, I'm just going to use the tape pen for speed and for ease, but at home I would probably add a little bit of wet glue on here.
Just to say, Jan, Diane is saying, you're right, Jan, it's called an arbor.
An arbor, yeah.
The bush of flowers grow over.
Excellent, thank you for just confirming that. Sometimes I dream these things up and think, did I make that up? Did it just come to me? And I know Jamie arrived at the same thing.
He
so
did.
Yeah, we're on the same page there. So again, we're going to go across the bottom of that one. So I've used the straight tape pen on the main bit, and then where I've got the die cut pieces, I've gone for my dotty tape pen, and we're going to put this one then on. Oh, Jan, it wants to go on that side. Right, that was a good job that we used the dotty tape pen, because you can actually rub away most of the dots.
Well, yeah, good idea that.
Phew. I was just thinking then they don't all want to go in a row. Right, the double-sided tape's not as easy, so I'm just going to take some of the tacky off there. I was getting giddy then. It wants to go, and I'm actually going to pop these together, luckily anyway, so they're going to stick together, but we need to put, let me jump to that one. This is going to go on the inside. You see what I mean about that one wants to go on this side,
yeah?
So let's just do that back one, and then I'm actually going to stick those down anyway, which was very fortunate, seeing as I've put my glue on the wrong side. It's not been the best of days today, has it? I don't know. I think I've left my brain at home this morning.
Not at all.
Or left it in that huge traffic jam that I got stuck in this morning, maybe. I was so frustrated. Oh, there'd been an accident on the motorway. It just seemed to take forever and a day. Yeah, then I'm actually going to pop this side together. So we were very lucky there that can now actually pop across there. And this one wants to be on this side, Jan, so that we can actually see it. Otherwise it would have been on the back.
I know we briefly mentioned it earlier, Jan, but we're both the same. We are quite a stickler for leaving our straight tape runner for your open areas and your dotties for your intricate die cuts.
I don't like wasting. Those little dots are precious, they're magical, so I don't like wasting them just sticking something together. If I sort of run out of my double-sided one, I really, through gritted teeth, have to run this one on if I'm sticking something together. Yeah, I don't like it at all. So you can see now we've got our little scene going on there, and we've created that zigzag. I've just stuck this layer down because what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the front of a card this time. So I've got that nice long DL card again. And again, going back to last week's show, we had that beautiful garden gnome paper pad, which I think, again, we've brought on the show tonight, Craig. And this is one of the scenes. These are 5.5-inch squares, but again, no reason why you can't chop into them. And they were absolutely perfect for what I wanted to just go in the background of my card there. So don't be afraid to mix and match those wherever you need them. You know, it doesn't have to be used with that collection. I think there are at least 3 sheets, if not more, of those scenes in that paper pad. And I believe the offer that we've got on today, there's 2 of the paper pads, aren't there? Yeah. So you've got plenty to play with. You don't have to be too precious with them. And it means that you can then maybe use them in different surroundings, you know, different backgrounds. So again, that one's going to go on the front. I'm going to leave this bit free so that we've got that opening element. You could leave the second bit free if you didn't put the dots on the wrong side. But again, I'm just going to add that tape pen, give it a flick, just get rid of that adhesive. And this one's going to go level with the bottom of the card here. So we've got it opening the right way. I'm just going to pop this on the front and just line that one up. And again, if we open you that one up now, we've got an ordinary slimline sort of DL size card, which is about 8 by 4. and then you've got that beautiful little seam built up, but you can still open the bottom. You could have a little secret message under there if you wanted to your recipient. It might even begin, I'm not quite sure, it might not, but I was just going to say you might even be able to sort of hide a little gift card behind there as well. You could put it in a little green envelope so that it didn't stand out and be as obvious. Just so there's a nice little surprise in there. And then if you want to add a sentiment, I've just got a beautiful garden is a work of heart. So we're just going to put that one. I thought I'd used up all my glue then. Do you know, I got through nearly a whole glue pen last week while I was here, Chris.
Did you? Yeah.
I'd got a new one pretty much when I started, and by the end of the day, it had just about
finished
gone.
it.
All 22 metres of it. So there you go, that's those zigzag seam builders, just another way that we can actually incorporate those into our card making.
Isn't that absolutely stunning? Not just the colouring, but that layer composition, but onto that card front as well, Jan. Thank you for that one. Not surprised it was really busy last week, and in actual fact, I think many of them have just gone into baskets, so we'll give you a little chance to check out just in a moment or two. But let's have another little look at our Zigzag scene. This is our builder stamp and die collection with your 12 dies and 20 stamps. So everything I'm showing you is $41.55 or $47.80, but platinum's going to come down to $33.24 or $38.24. So we can see we have got our in the country, and we showed you earlier on right at the start, as well as some of the finished samples with Jan, the concept of these, but then also with some of the finished samples Jan showed you, you can use them in many, many different ways as well. You've got your Garden Dreams, you have got our Hometown, and then we have also got our Once Upon a Time. All of these you are getting with that really good saving, but platinum it does come down. $33.24 or $38.24. For you guys across in Central Europe as well, you just need to go to your website. Now I don't know why I whispered that one there, it's no secret. I don't know. Yes, a secret. It's a secret, I don't know. Anyway, do you want to have a look at this one? This one here, this is your 100 sheet selection. Whoa, it's getting to the end of the day. Just about to slip the tongue there. £30 or $40. You have got a saving of over 15%. If you are platinum, that comes down to £24 or $32. Now, you are getting an abundance of Centura Pearl. To be exact, 100 sheets, because that's what it says on the screen. You have got cherry. Now, these are 10 packs here, and these are 310 GSM. So you have got your cherry, you've got your baby pink, you've got green gold, you have got pale silver, you have got the most gorgeous Centura Pearl black. We have even got one of my favourites, the fuchsia. But then what we've also got is we have actually got, let me just go back to the fuchsia there. Then what we've got, Jan's looking confused there.
I missed that. I was busy looking at my
yeah, well, we'll
back to the fuchsia.
We'll just pretend I didn't do that one there. So we've got the fuchsia as well. Then what we've also got is, in actual fact, wait a minute, let's go back to the fuchsia there. Just for a second, and then
oh my days,
we have got, it's got to be done, it's got to be done. I done it yesterday with our ink pads as well. Yeah, everyone's bored of it now, but I'm not, I'm going to keep doing it. Pastels, we have got our full pack of A4 pastel tone Centura Pearl. These are great for your baby cards, but of course at the moment, even though we're in Christmas, pastel is still all the rage when it comes to home decor and non-Christmas cards, although many people have been using pastels this year within their Christmas cards. You have got your yellows, your baby blues, you've got your lilacs, you've got your mints and your baby pink in there as well. That is one full big wad. That one comes as one pack, and it is, off the top of my head, 40 sheets that you've got within that one there. So altogether, that is 100 sheets of your 310 GSM Centura Pearl. Cut it, fold it, emboss it, foil onto it. You can still do lots and lots of things when it comes to our Centura Pearl, and it's one of the things that actually kind of also, as well as things such as our Ultimate Pro and that, when people say Centura Pearl, so many think of Crafters Companion. So that is, for me, that is one that I would also be saying, please take advantage of your triple points when it comes to your Centura Pearl 100 sheets. £30 or $40, saving over 15%, but if you are platinum, it's going to come down to £24 or $32. Right, when we come back, we're going to have a read through the comments, see what you are all saying, but we're going to give you the opportunity to check out your basket, take advantage of triple points, and myself and Jan, we will be back in a moment.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
One that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that?
We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
My name's Michelle and I am the newest craft expert. My crafting journey began just after I had my daughter Alice, so she's 14 now. Long story short, I suffered with postnatal depression. My husband sort of noticed, took me to the doctors, and of all things, the doctor suggested colouring. Said it's so mindful, really helps. So anyway, my husband had noticed that I discovered the craft channels. Went out one day, came home with an amazing little craft kit for me, and that is where my addiction began. But one of my main inspirations is actually going onto our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and seeing what everyone else is making with the same stuff that we're making. As cheesy as it's going to sound, Debbie Robinson, Debbie Fisher, those are two of the main people that I watched a lot of. They are all so inspirational. Okay, so I absolutely love everyone that I work with. I don't have a lot of juicy gossip that I can share, but I will say Debbie Robinson is exactly what you see on screen. She is a laugh a minute. She is exactly what you see. So, you think, oh, did they put it on for the camera? They don't. Debbie Robinson is definitely Debbie Robinson. And I love her, and she really does say all the time, what am I like? So other than crafting, I just love being at home with my family. I know that sounds cheesy, but my husband is the most amazing support for me. My kids are fantastically weird, odd, crazy, but perfect. But at the minute, I'm very focused on my health, so I'm exercising a lot. So I would say, other than craft, which takes up 23.5 hours a day, that my health and lifestyle, I think you would say. So I've had a few cards published in a couple of magazines as designer for the day. So that was sort of a really big deal for me. I loved it. And then I got accepted onto the Crafters Companion design team. Oh my God, the whole world could hear me scream with excitement. And then I got the call to come up and try out for this job. It is by far the most amazing, exciting thing I have ever done. And it's been life-changing.
Sandra Dundas is saying, that was an achievement, Craig. Tracy wouldn't go on that side of the camera for just anyone. Thank you.
She forgot herself.
I think she may be dead. She may be dead. Sandra, thank you so much for the sweets that you handed in. And also, they're all saying thank you to you in the gallery here, as well as the card. And also, if you've seen earlier on, you'll have heard me tell the story of my Y, of my Gemini Mini alphabets, and how I misplaced it. And Sandra very kindly said, well, I'll have 2 sets so you can have another one, which was very kind, but I didn't want to put you out so you didn't lose a letter. Well, Sandra actually handed it in to me on a little card. So she's put a little note for me, Craig Laird from Sandra Dundas, and she's put the Gemini Mini Y just underneath there for me. So that is such a really kind thought, so thank you so well. And also to Karen Sorrell Wells, did give you a mention. I don't see you in the comments today, but I did give you a mention last night. You sent across stateside loads and loads of sweets, a little parcel for Ben, as well as myself with one of my favourite Yankee candles. You guys at home give us the most incredible support and kindness.
We're just spoiled, aren't we, really? Honestly, where else would you get that? It's like having extended family, isn't it? Our big sort of crafty extended family, yeah. So we're very, very grateful. And I must admit, I've just tried one of those sweeties down there. And it was beautiful. I can't remember what it was called now, but the white chocolate with all the little coloured pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
Because they're white chocolate.
He's got a stash.
Yeah,
look.
and can I just say, I don't have a huge stash. I've taken 3.
Oh, that's the Hershey's, isn't it?
The Hershey, yeah. These ones here. So, I'm not going to eat it.
We're going to do the taste test.
Well, I'll eat it once Jan goes over with her cards in a moment. But yeah.
Look, a little white one.
Oh, look at that.
Fantastic.
Oh, it smells amazing. Righto, still a few comments. So I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll come back to them just in a moment because we want to do, of course, demo of the show and then demo of the day as well. So we're going to get started, aren't we, Jan, with demo of the show?
So demo of the show then. So top of the show, we started with those lovely Ellipse dies and we showed you how to make the I've got Gatefold on the brain. The easel design on this one. So we've cut it 3 different times and actually popped it together in that traditional easel shape. So that was number 1. Number 2 was the layered Gatefold dies. And again, just popping them onto that Gatefold with the sentiments in the centre there. And then that opens up to reveal your inside. So that was number 2. Number 3 was that lovely Zigzag scene builder where you can decide how you want that to go together. So that was number 3. And then I'm just about to demo those Ellipse dies again, and we're actually going to make a little gift box, just layering. I just think with the different colours on there, it just gives something a little bit different again and another way to use those dies. So that would be number 4. Okey-doke. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. You've got a few moments. Grace is going to tally them up for us and then we will come back just in a second, have a look at that demo. Diane is saying, too right, Jan, it's called an arbor, as I read out just before. Jean just said, absolutely beautiful with that last card. Gilmore had said, wow, that card is gorgeous, love how it's come together. Jean has said, perfect. Heather has said, I absolutely love Jan's laugh. Great laugh, isn't it? It's the hee-hee-hee one. It is the hee-hee-hee one, yeah, that cheeky one. We're going to have a wee look once again of the Ellipse Edgeable die collection. $25, $55, $31.80. You've got a saving of 20%. Platinum comes down to £20.44 or $25.44. You do have your 4 in the set, so I am very quickly going to go through these so we can go across to Jan. You have got your traditional swirls, you've got ditzy butterflies, we've got dainty daisies, and we have also got our delicate lace. We've seen incredible ways that you can use these ones, and I know that Debbie Fisher has not been cleaning out the die once again because I can see Jan just popping little bits out. I've just opened the packet and look again, I'm going to have words. I'm going to get a clip around the ear at the weekend when I'm on with Debbie Fisher. Yes, it's like I've just got little pieces left in the die which are not going to help when we die cut for a second time. Yeah. Debbie. So, honestly, So yes, this time I've gone for the Dainty Daisies then. So you can use any of the designs. They will, all the things that we've demoed today, so including those layered gatefold and the ellipse dies, mix and match out any of the shapes. They will all do that same concept. So anybody that's just tuned in sort of throughout the show, one of the most important about these sets is that the die has been made, and it does tell you on the back here, designed to cut through 2 layers of card simultaneously. And the dies have actually been made just a fraction thicker than a normal thin metal die for that reason. And anybody that's used to working with dies, as I say, you can feel the difference. It's not heavy, but you can feel the difference to just an ordinary thin metal die like I just used on that Zigzag one. So it's just got that little bit of oomph so that you can actually cut through 2 layers at once. So what we did this morning was exactly that. So in Wake Up Call, when we used these this morning, we used the butterflies, and we literally, this is our multi-purpose cardstock, 300 GSM, 2 layers of it, and we went through both layers with 1 pass through the Gemini and got that beautiful detail on both edges of the card. So it's been designed to allow you to do that without any problem. Now that doesn't mean to say that you have to. So what I'm going to do with this one is just go through 1 layer of card, because I'm going to layer them up with other pieces of cardstock on this one, like you saw on that sample that I've just shown you. So again, using the grid on here, it comes in handy for all sorts of things. Just to make sure it's straight, I usually pop the curved edge of the die right to the edge of the card, and then just use the grid lines to make sure that it's straight, and then tape it onto that corner, which is actually going to become the waist on the design.
Okay.
So again, we've just got the cardstock on there, but because it's going through horizontally, I'm going to pop that metal shim in again. So again, just to add those layers on top, and then we'll pass that through our Gemini, cut that piece out, and then I've got my box lid at the ready. I've used some craft card for this one. You can hear the motor working when it goes over the die. It just changes its tone slightly. And again, take that one off there. We've got all those lovely pieces ready. So the edge bit becomes the waist. We don't need to keep that piece. And then again, I like to turn it over and just lift that die from the actual metal work. I just personally just find that there's a little bit more sort of it comes off, you know, you don't have to worry about damaging the die itself. And again, once those pieces are poked out,
and you can
I will make sure that I clean the die before I put it back. Okay. But just look at that design now on there.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Like you said earlier, Craig, you know, you could paper piece elements of it if you wished. Some of them have got larger openings than others, and you've got all those lovely little flowers would look lovely with a little gem just in the centre of them. But what we're going to do with this one is we're going to start and layer it up. So I just want to measure roughly, I'm going to put one like so. So the edge of my box is about there. So just for speed, normally I would get my guillotine out for this, but we're just going to go along here and take that edge piece off. So the first layer is going to be in that lovely tan colour.
Yeah.
And then I've done exactly the same again with a lighter piece. So this is our caramel Centura pearl. And then I've gone for that lovely copper glitter card. And again, if you're cutting the glitter card, I would definitely pop my metal shim in. Okay.
For sure, yeah, wow.
So literally, we're going to stick these together. So again, I've got both of those tape pens into play again. We're going to use the straight one on the pieces of card that are still intact, and then I'm going to bring the dotty one across that lovely die cut element there and just pop that one. And then because we're using the same die, if I do it on here so that you can see a little bit better what I'm doing, I'm just going to follow that curve, line up the edges, and literally just bring that one level with it.
Following it, right.
And then I'm going to do the same with this one. So again, ordinary tape pen on the card that's left. And then I'm going to use that dotty tape pen again on the back of the die cut pieces. I've got a little piece there that's trying to beg a lift. Okay. Look, it says keep me in.
Stuck
There we
on
go.
there.
And then again, I'm going to do the same again. So I'm just going to line up the edge. I'm going to pop it level. Because that curve's following the same shape,
Yeah.
you can see how it's following that design. And then because we cut this one to size, I know now that I can take this off the edge. We don't need that one. So I've just, they're slightly bigger than what I needed. It's always better to have a bit spare
True.
than not enough. And then again, this is going to go on top of my box, like so.
That's
So
incredible.
again, we can pop that layer exactly the same, the double-sided one on there, the dotty one on the back of the filigree part, and then we're going to line this one up in here.
Even, you know, on all the colours that you've cut there, but to show how the Ellipse die works on that Shadows
On
glitter
all
card.
of them, absolutely, yep. And then literally pop your box together, okay, so you'd stick your corners together, all right, and then you've got the bottom section of your box, okay, and then if I bring that one in, I've just added a nice little tag onto there, just as a you know, a memento there,
Yeah.
special memories. Again, you can keep whatever you want in there, just a lovely little gift box again that's been sort of personalised, so that you can, you know, you can sort of add your own sort of touch of style to it, rather than relying on sort of shop bought elements
That's
that
it,
are
yeah.
very generic, and as I say, mass produced in their thousands, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas something like that's very individual. You know, make it in a different colour next time, it would look totally different. Make it in a different shape. You know, you can change it up just by altering shape and colour. But yeah, just another way to use those lovely Ellipse dies.
The sort of one that you would see in a little boutique store, you know, with that colour and style.
Yeah.
But that one was your Ellipse Edgeable die collection, $25, $55, $31, $80, saving 20%. Platinum price comes down to £20.44 or $25.44. Speeding that one up because we've got a result and we've still got demo of the day to do. So we're going straight into there. I thought it might be this one, and it is, Jan. It's number 3.
So
that's
the
just
zigzag
one.
set,
The zigzag.
we loved these last week, absolutely. So I think that's why we wanted them back tonight. So thank you guys. That's that lovely seam builder one in however you want to pop it together. You've got the little bench at the front there. So that was the one for this show.
This show, yeah.
You've got the earlier two over there, haven't you, Craig?
I do, yeah. So
Yep.
from Wake Up Call, then into Masterclass, and then into this show. So
Yep.
we've got number 1. We've then got number 2. And then, Jan, yours will be number 3.
Number 3. Absolutely, yep.
There
Thank you
we
very
go.
much.
You literally have a minute or so before Grace will tell us the result. So yeah, a lot of love all throughout the day today when it comes to seeing Jan and what you've been making. Jan, when are you next back in?
Oh, now then, I'm back on Monday,
Okay.
and that will be my last day before Christmas. But do I have a show planned for you guys? I'm going to be doing some multimedia work, which I know you've all been crying out for, but it's not exactly what you think. It's not mixed media, it's multimedia, as in I'm going to be playing with some dies that are literally generated for soft crafts, but I'm going to put my own twist on them and bring them into paper crafting. There might be a little bit of fabric in there. I might run as far as felt. That might be my limit. But I've got some ideas, especially for Christmas decorations and things like that, yes. So that will be the middle show. So I'm here for Wake Up Call, I'm here for that masterclass, and then I've got Monday Makers. And that will be my last visit before Christmas.
Yeah, so this will be the last time we work together, see each other this year, actually.
Yes. Oh, this year, when you say it like that. Sounds
Scary,
forever, doesn't it?
But I am back for another day before I have Friday off, before I'm in again at the weekend. I'm here with Corin tomorrow, so I'm on this side, Corin's on that side. We've got Wake Up Call, we've got Craft Along, and it's Thursday, which means we've got Cartload, so that's going to be absolutely epic for sure. Don't forget as well, when we finish here on Beautiful Beginnings, give me an hour and 15 minutes, 9:15 here in the UK, 4:15 Eastern Time, or of course 1:15 Pacific Time. I'm going to be live for 1 hour where we're going to open and create something from door number 7 of our Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar. So we do have a result now, and it was number 1.
Number 1, so that was the Ellipse.
Number-
Oh no, that was your Gatefold. I'm
That
still
one.
back on this set
This
over
one.
here. Yeah, so that was the Gatefold one, wasn't it? The layered ones.
There we go.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, guys.
There we go, and we will see if that's going to win Demo of the Week when myself and Debbie are in on Sunday. Rightio, if you are watching live, certainly here in the UK, you've got about 4 hours left to take advantage of triple points across everything on our website. So once you get into your basket, you will get your triple points on whether it's one item that you have bought or whether it's an abundance of items. Do have a wee think to see if it's enough to take you to the next tier, or maybe, of course, it's actually going to catapult you to another tier or so, well into that tier. It is triple points on everything. It does end midnight wherever you are across the world, and it will end at midnight because this is for day 7 of our 12 days of Craftmas, which means when we go into day 8, we're going to be doing something else, which we have just both found out this show what it's going to be tomorrow. And in the words of Jamie, it's going to be a belter, which it absolutely is. So thank you to Tracy, and we had Julia today as well, of course, to George and Jamie, who are both back tomorrow as well. Once again, Jan, it's always, always, always a pleasure. I love working with you.
I've had
and
a
seeing
lovely
you.
day. Thank you for having me.
Me too, me too. And then, of course, thank you to Grace for all your help on the comments. Rightio, we will see you again live tomorrow, where we're going to do it all over again with myself and Corinne. Wake up call, as we say, craft along, and then that cartload as well. Have a lovely rest of the day, and then we will see you live right back here tomorrow on Crafters TV. Bye.